Hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as Screen Speak. In today's video, this is my Wicked for Good official spoiler review. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alright guys, so this is actually the second musical project that I'm reviewing in the past 2 weeks here. So this week, I'm reviewing Wicked for Good, which is the second part of the Wicked Wizard of Oz franchise. This is Wicked came out last year. Now Wicked Part 1, I guess. Wicked for Good. This is Part 2. And I did review Hazbin Hotel Season 2 last week, so be sure to check that out. Another musical project. I love Hazbin Hotel so much. Very different comparisons, though. This one's more lighthearted. Hazbin Hotel is a mature adult animated show. But I do enjoy both projects. But this one, it's a mixed bag for me. I actually did cry at this movie, you know. And then the reason I cried, just spoilers, is I thought this movie, the movie and the musical itself, show a great representation on the friendship of Glinda and Elphaba. I really do agree with that. I'm a musical fan, and I don't want to come out as like, again, I'm not gay, but I don't want to come off as like, oh well, you like musical or you like flamboyant things. I like flamboyant things, but this I love the musical of Wicked. I'm a musical fan, and you know, Hazbin Hotel is a musical show, so I'm a fan of Hazbin Hotel. But there's other reasons I like Hazbin Hotel. This movie, like I said, Elphaba and Glinda, they show the friendship they have, and I'm a sucker for, you know, like rom-coms, romance, and also like friendship things, like showing like parents, like family type of movies. And this movie being like the friendship of them from school, and more specifically college. Like I'm in my college years, and I have good friends, and I've had friends that I really adored, and I've lost them. And that this movie really shows you that fine line of who are your friends, kind of, and that really made me cry. Now, I kind of want to throw in a similar thing, a comparison level, that I cried at Inside Out 2. I have various issues with Inside Out 2. Now, I cried at Inside Out 2 because it was a theater experience. I was following along with the story. But after kind of just doing some research and doubling down on how I actually feel about the film making of Inside Out 2, I have various issues with it. I don't need to go into the nitty-gritty. I've already made a review and I talked about it ad nauseum in my ranking of films from last year. But how I felt with this film is much different, because I talked about the reason why I cried and the beats of the story. And before I get to how I actually felt overall with the film, let me go into some lore. So, I don't understand, after watching this movie, not that it wasn't a good Part 2 story, but how it fit in with The Wizard of Oz. And I'll tell you before my overall thoughts, one issue that I really wrestled with. Because going into it, I thought that, we're going to get the reveal. We're going to get Dorothy talking to the Wicked Witch. Like, I would love it if they were like, we're going to make a new rendition of The Wizard of Oz in this scale, in this capacity. I don't think they're going to do that, because this was their version of that. And it really, it kind of almost angered me in a way. Wizard of Oz, I rewatched it in preparation for this movie. And not to say this movie angered me, but it just kind of was like, okay, I don't know what I'm watching right now, because I love that we got the transformation of Fiero to Scarecrow, and they're kind of color coordinated. And then Bach, who plays SpongeBob in the SpongeBob musical, Ethan Slater, in his like grayness to the Tin Man, I really applaud that. And then we got Cowardly Lion, Coleman Domingo as Cowardly Lion voice, was a neat person to cast. Seeing him in Running Man last week and then this week. But I'm like, okay, and then they're just there. Like, yeah, they set them up in the last movie. There's these characters that turn into them. There's the lion cub from last movie. And then we get Dorothy running off. We get the cyclone. That was cool. And then, Nessa dies because she's that wicked witch she's a wicked witch of the East. It's all fine and dandy, but I just have two lingering questions. One, well, Madame Morrible, I guess it's kind of one question, but Madame Morrible, where was she the whole time in The Wizard of Oz? I don't know. And if this is going on, I'm just asking, like, I know it's weird, but I'm just asking so many questions because I thought the whole Wicked show. I watched the Broadway show, so you can comment down below if I'm missing something. If this is not, I don't know. But if this is taking place at the same time as The Wizard of Oz, I'm very disappointed because as much as I love the first part, Defying Gravity, but I think what makes the first Wicked, the part of Wicked, the film, so much better. And again, this movie, I think what Wicked for Good does better in my eyes than the stage play. I thought it just, and I think of, as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking more and more like, oh, I think this is where people do say the second act of Wicked falls apart. And I'm kind of like, if the first movie just ended there, okay, we're defying gravity. She goes off and now the Wicked Witch, like, okay, let us use our imagination to figure out what happens next in The Wizard of Oz. Because then those characters, like, yes, we see the transformation of Bach and Fiyero, and we see the lion in this second part. But what really bothers me is we don't need to see the transformation to then watch the story of Wizard of Oz. We just are transported in with these characters so we can figure out, oh, that's the lion cub. And again, it was all great to see in this movie, but I'm just like, it kind of bothered me. It's, okay, this is going on the same time of this movie, and not like I was more or less anticipating. Yes, we got the cyclone in the trailer, the twister in the trailer, and we saw Dorothy in the trailer. But I was more or less hoping that it was going to be like not an end credit scene, but like the epilogue, right? Okay, now we see this is what happened after we get the For Good song, and then we get like an epilogue. No, it's just going on the same time. Dorothy's captured by the Wicked Witch. It's cool, I guess. I don't know. I cried at the For Good song, but I was like, okay, get me more Dorothy in there. I guess they wanted to hide her, but I didn't completely understand why, so that drew me out of it. And again, another point that, like, why was this going on at the same time? Well, Wizard of Oz, I thought this was just all a prequel. I thought this was all just a prequel, and then leading up to Wizard of Oz, the movie. I'm just struggling with that, because going on, this is an instance where the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning, I completely say that I enjoy this movie way more than the Final Reckoning. But what do I enjoy watching more? The first part over the second part. And like I said, there are moments in there that I really did enjoy. But for a fan of, I think I enjoy watching both these movies back to back than I do the stage play. But if I was going to talk to somebody who loves this franchise like I do, I would say that the first part is dramatically way better. And another thing that people said going into this, that the second part is more darker. It sure is. Oh no, it sure is, and I agree with that. But by the end, and especially, spoilers incoming, when the Wicked Witch she's melted by Dorothy, and then she's not, she's talking to the Scarecrow, Fiyero, and just wanders off, and I'm like, okay, I really didn't like that. I assume, it's not best to, but I'm going to. It's not best to assume this, but I assume that it happens in the stage play. I don't remember much. I only remember the first act, not the second act. So going into this movie, I had it was going to refresh my memory. It was going to make me like watch it for the first time. This movie, the second act was going to make it feel like the first time I've ever seen it. Second act. So I'm just like, okay, now she's alive? I'm like, what is happening? I didn't like that. I didn't like that because, again, going back to what I said, I thought this was entirely a prequel. So if what they should have done, and again, this might be the stage play, but it really bothers me, is that this should have just been Elphaba and Glinda's story, have the epilogue be the four main characters in The Wizard of Oz meeting together, finding the wizard and saying, "Bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch." Movie ends, and then we can use our imagination for where this goes in The Wizard of Oz. That would have been a much better way to do it, and a much better conclusion and just story. So I'm just, it's really aggravates me at the way they did the movie. I enjoyed it. And like I said, compared it to Mission Impossible or Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Final Reckoning, I enjoy this more than the Final Reckoning. But those issues alone made me go, alright, really? I don't know. And again, this may be entirely accurate to this stage play. But I didn't vibe with it as much as I wanted to. And the first movie was way more epic and perfect in what it needed to accomplish. And the song, I just love popular, like, I like the For Good song. Again, it made me cry, you know, the whole story of their friendship, but the way they incorporated the four main characters, and especially the Cyclone, was like, look, the Cyclone, the house falls, Again, it's not nostalgia, but it felt like they were just trying to incorporate, look at all these things, guys. Remember from The Wizard of Oz? I'm like, you didn't have to do that. You could have just made an epilogue. You could have made a 10-minute epilogue. And repeating the minutes that they did, like, no one mourns the wicked from, like, the beginning of the last movie. Look, they're like 5 minutes that they recreate. I'm like, stop. We already saw this. Like, I'm not trying to be mad about the movie, but there are things that bothered me. So, overall, I had a good time with it. I'm just a little bit disappointed, and I don't want to take up much more of your time that you already need. So, don't take this the wrong way. I have negatives of the movie. I did really enjoy this, but again, with the songs, Popular and Defying Gravity, The Wizard and I, The Wizard and I, the Dancing Through Life, literally almost all the songs, even the Wizard song. I like the Wizard song in this movie because he got more like choreography, but all the songs from the last one, I genuinely really enjoy. In this movie, I'm just kind of like, okay, we get For Good, like, none of them just seem as memorable to me. So, that's where I'm going. I enjoyed it. I'm a musical fan. I enjoyed it. It's one that John M. Chu does a great job directing. The cinematography is amazing. And I'm excited to see what it's up for nomination-wise at the Oscars. I'm excited. But just disappointed on a scale of storytelling, what I was anticipating to see. But that said, guys, I enjoyed my time, and I'm very excited to see, like, more musical renditions in the future, and just for movies next year, because this just one didn't sit right. So I'm hoping that maybe next November. Again, I enjoyed my time, and I make this sound like it's so negative, but this November is my May of 2024. Like, the 4 movies I saw last May were incredible. These 4 movies I'm seeing this month are incredible as well. So that I'm very happy, pleased with. But again, this movie disappointed me in a not a way I was hoping. So I'm going to give this movie a B-. Shocking. I would have given it the B+ if it could have done a better story beat progression. But that's just me. B-, a 75%. I'd probably go 70, but 75% for generosity, and a 3.5 on LetterBoxd. That's where I'm going. 3.5 on LetterBoxd. And on I gave my, so, yeah, and then like a 7, so that would be like a, 7.5 out of 10. So that's my thoughts on Wicked for Good. Let me know what you thought of this movie if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, please go support your lean green fighting machine, as they call her. And, that's just what I'm calling her. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done that already, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Stay tuned what I got coming up. We got Stranger Things Part 1, Zootopia, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, things coming out, and Percy Jackson show starting up very soon. But that will end in January, so that's starting up soon. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and Fallout's coming out very soon. Like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, and stay for good. Peace, everyone.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch screen, stay for good. Peace, everyone. Bye.